All right, grasshoppers, as we know, there's a few times during the week, like a few moments, like these precious moments during the week that you just like you hang on to for days and days and days. And this morning when we're on with the great Mark Puttenvink is one of those moments that you just cannot wait for. The great Mark Puttenvink, how are you doing today, sir?
It's like Christmas in July, right?
Exactly. It's just like every week we get this, but it's the anticipation that builds up.
I don't know how anybody can even sleep through the weekend.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Oh, my God. In case you don't know, as Mark Puttenvink, we've become very good friends. Tons of respect for this gentleman that knows a lot about the body, training, mental, physical part of it. He's got a company called Patriot Training Systems, trains military people, housewives, anything at all. Even trains me, teaches me stuff. And I think I know everything, and I learned things from Mark. So how you doing, brother?
Good. I'm doing great, man. What's going on? How are you?
Not much. We had a great weekend, great weather. An old teammate of mine, Andre Dory, invited me to a great event. I know the NYPD and the Fire Department of New York had a hockey game, I think at the UBS Arena, right? This past weekend?
Correct. Yes.
Right. And up in Stamford, Connecticut, we had a similar event, much smaller, obviously, but great police officer up there who's a great coach, coached the high school team in Stamford for many years, suffering from cancer, not doing well. So they had a charity game for him. And, man, it was a patriotic game. They had the bagpipes going the whole bit and the drum corps. Man, when they started going, I don't know how you are. I think we talked about this before. I know, I do know how you are. The blood pressure gets going. You're pumped up. You want to go out and fight some.
Like I said last week when we played, Warriors played Coast Guard. We had the bagpipes go all the way around the rink, and they timed it so they got all 4 military service anthems in.
Oh.
And then they stopped, and they right in front of our banner. And, man, like you say, I was tearing up. I'm like, whoa.
I know.
It's very emotional. Yeah.
Oh, the man, it's just like goosebumps get going.
Yeah.
And the first, the drum too, like the drum corps and the bagpipes together, and they're playing oh man.
Well, you look at the Revolutionary War, they had the guys leading the way, right?
Yeah. I could see that's true too. You think about being on the real battlefield.
Yeah. So I don't know if I told you, but where I go in the woods up here, I was practicing my long staff, which is
Barry's right on, Barry, right on.
And so I'm back in the woods. I wasn't too deep in the woods, and all of a sudden I heard bagpipes. I'm like, this is awesome. So I was doing my thing with it, and there's a gentleman. He's in the bagpipe band. He goes there to practice by the field. It was pretty cool.
It's very cool. Very cool stuff. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, I got to tell you too, my new favorite exercise. I know I tell you this every week, but the Jefferson Deadlift is just, oh God.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the only one thing you did, you'd be fine.
Oh, I know. And I'm going up in weight. I'm trying to be careful to maintain control. Anybody understands, I've videoed it a couple of times. I think I posted it online. So it's a deadlift where you straddle the bar at a 45-degree angle. There are different variations on it. The one Mark and I do is we keep their hands right in the middle. There's another one where you can spread your hands wider. But it's a fantastic exercise. You're right over top of the bar, so much less risk of injury. But you really, you've got to, not only do you have to lift the weight, but the bar will tend to spin on you side to side and from front to back as well. So you've got to control it. So it's a good one.
Yeah, it's again, with the hand grip we use, the bar will start to try to walk on you. So you got to really keep your stabilizers and your synergistic group muscles together. Right. And because it's a deadlift, there's no momentum. So it's dead. It's a dead lift. Yeah. So you can't bounce it like you can with a bench press or, a squat, you have some movement, but so it's a great.
And the regular deadlift, you tend to use your hamstrings and your back more. On this one, you really get the butt all the way down and you really incorporate all the legs.
I think for any athlete who has to be explosive, it's a great movement because to your point, you're getting deep, you're using your glutes, you're using the muscle groups that really give you the explosive power.
Yeah, definitely. Question here from the great Barry Shelley. Mark, will the Warriors be skating and playing during the summer months?
Oh yeah. We go right through the year, Barry, and so we have a couple practices coming up. By the way, I couldn't attend this Saturday, but the team showed up. I think I mentioned last week at the Bergen County here in Moa, in New Jersey, horse rescue, and they spent the day there. I mean, we had 24 guys, men and women there, rebuilding barns, rebuilding horse stalls.
That's right. Yes, you told us that. Yeah.
Ted Curtin, phenomenal job.
And Ted's wife was there, the construction worker.
Oh, she ran the whole show. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's classic.
But it was a really great event, and it just, veterans giving back to the community. It's
just so you're sure we're aware of, Mark plays a huge role. He and Ted Curtin, they just mentioned New Jersey Warriors hockey. They have a bunch of veterans out there suffering from PTSD or whatever they may have, and they do a bunch of great stuff playing hockey games and other charities like they mentioned. So great.
Yeah, Barry, to answer your question, yeah, Barry, we do. It's a year-round thing. May 22nd is our next game. We're playing New Jersey Fire, which is like a group of different firefighter cities and towns that put a team together. So that's May 22nd at the Pro.
Cool. Yeah. I forgot to tell you, I should have told you this in advance. I didn't find out till late. I was at Hackensack on Friday night. They had the Hackensack Ice Dogs. Is it the Ice Dogs?
Yeah. No, Sean played for them. It is the Ice Dogs. Yeah, I think played on that team.
So they had their tryout. So I was there representing the Rangers, helping out a little bit, and it was pretty cool. Great coach. There's one older gentleman, big guy, had coached for like 30 years, and his sons or daughters weren't playing the program. He just gave us time, and I was like,
"Do you remember his name? I wonder if I know him."
I don't. It's awful.
That's all right.
Yeah, but he was a good guy, and a guy was there, and he follows all the time. He's got the Great American Bearded One, I think he calls himself. He's on Instagram and Facebook. Big long, one of those big long beards. And a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, we had a contest. I can't even remember what the contest was for, but the winner would get a True Grit Life sweatshirt, workout shirt. So I didn't know that was him. He gets on the ice there, and he's like Superman, opens up his jacket, and there's the True Grit Life shirt.
Awesome.
So he's a good guy. Yeah. Awesome. A really good group of coaches donating their time. Like those guys, again, both those gentlemen I met didn't have kids on that particular team, but we're still coaching it. So
coaching is very difficult.
Yeah. Oh, man. Now, I got a complaint about the rink. I guess when they built the arena there initially years ago, there was a lot of land around, so there's no problem with parking. But now they've built up right. So you've been to this rink?
Many times, yeah. So they had that municipal parking, which is now they're going to build condos there.
Right.
And then you got the bowling alley. They can't park there. So, yeah, it's difficult. There's 4 sheets there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. What do they do now then? Because there's virtually –
it's going to be a major problem. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to figure that out. It's a problem. Unfortunately.
Right. So we have Bill here, who's your fan. He's a fan of everybody. He's a fan of everybody but me. This man just doesn't like me.
Yeah,
I worked out in the sun quite a bit this weekend. There was a lot of sun, so yeah, definitely. All right, what do we talk about? What's our topic today for training? What do we want to talk about? Aerobic training. You got something in mind?
Yeah, I mean, we could still. The basic concept that you and I believe in is keep it simple, work hard.
Yep.
And to that end, and I get it. We need to have different pieces of equipment. We're always, the industry is always trying to come up with the next thing. So if you look at the past 20 years in particular, you had Billy Banks, remember the Tybo?
Yep.
Then you had spinning, which was really hot. People still spin. Then you had CrossFit, which really was just old school cleans and pull-ups, and they kind of packaged it. And then, kettlebell now seems to be very popular, and it's a good thing. So you have people that all they're doing is kettlebell. And I think the takeaway from it is it's all good. It all works. So find what works for you, what you're comfortable, what you enjoy. And then when you get tired of doing that or it gets stale, there's other things you can move on to that are going to be just as effective. But keep it simple. And that's why I love the fact that you really took a liking to the Jefferson squat. And, too many times we go to the gym and you walk in and you're kind of overwhelmed by all the different pieces of equipment, right?
Yeah.
And if you just pick 2 or 3 and you kind of do, depending on your schedule, a push-pull. You know what, Bill? Bill's asking, do I prefer heavier weights or reps? Again, it depends what we're training for. If we're training for strength, obviously it's heavier weights. Reps would be more conditioning. But it's, what are we doing? Are you an athlete or a population?
Burning more fat too, right? Burning more fat with more reps and everything?
Not necessarily. The fat burning, so to speak, has to do with energy consumption. So you may get, I mean, think of how hard you're breathing after 5 reps of a good deadlift. You feel like you just ran a mile.
Yeah, totally.
So you're breathing in oxygen to restore, I should say, gets a little wonky here, but restoring your phosphate levels for your ATP. It gets a little wonky, but it depends what you're looking at.
I like to mix it up with the heavier weight or reps too. Like even if I'm doing the same exercise, like now I'm in a program, I'm going just a 2-day cycle. So I'm doing legs and back one day and then chest and shoulders the next day. And I'm doing a lot of the same exercises, but I may go to, I'll do the military press with the barbell. And I may one day want to go lower reps and try to see how high in weight I can get. Other days I'll get a lot of volume. So I'm not going to high weight, but I'm getting more volume. But I think it's important to mix that up.
If we're to look at just an atypical workout, Bill, the heavier weights would be for your core exercises. When I say core, I don't mean your core, but core being squat, deadlift, press, the big movements. Then your auxiliary, like tricep push downs or shoulder stuff, that's higher reps, less weight, because it's a different end we're trying to accomplish.
Good point. And you can also like get the aerobic workout too, right? By doing maybe a less weight, a lot of reps.
Yes, less weight circuit training. You're going to keep your heart rate up. This PHP, which is peripheral heart training, is just that, like doing, say, a set of presses followed by a set of pulls. So you're using opposing muscle. So one is you're pressing, and then the other one's pulling. You do those back-to-back supersets, you're going to get your heart rate up for sure.
Right. And I call it spiritual, but like to me, my workouts have become spiritual. I think you feel the same way, right? Yeah. So when you're in the gym, yes, you want to do the exercises, all right, that you concentrate and doing it properly and all that. But to me, it's also that strengthening of your mind. So it, like, I know we talked about this before, that I like it gets like 5 sets of 12. So I try to pick a weight for those 12 reps, right around maybe the 8th rep or 7th rep. I start to now my mind starts telling me that, oh, you're getting tired, you need to quit. Your body starts telling you you're tired, you need to quit. And you don't worry about the 12th rep, you worry about the 8th rep and then the 9th rep, right? So you're strengthening your mind. That then carries forward, I really believe, and I know you do too, that it isn't just for the gym. Now your mind is stronger and you know you can fight through things. So you got to 8 and your body's telling you to quit, but you didn't quit. You made the way to 12. Now you say to yourself, well, I can do that in all areas of my life now, that same theory. So I hugely believe
you can play tricks on not tricks, but mind games with yourself too. So when I'm going to do like high rep pull-ups, let's say I want to try to get to 30 pull-ups in one set.
Right.
I'll count in sets of 5.
Yeah.
I'll go 5. Right. The trick there is to make sure you get to 30, because maybe you did 35, you thought you did 30. But the point is, like anything else, every journey of 1,000 miles starts at the first step.
Yeah.
So,
it's funny. You think that coaches do that a lot in the NHL too. They'll break it down to 5-game segments and say, okay, how many games should we win out of 5 games? I'll never forget Robbie Fatorik, you know very well. And I played with him. I love the guy. Total respect for him. But one of the most stubborn people on the planet. I mean that in a very good way. That's a total compliment to him. So I can't remember who the coach was. It probably was Herb Brooks. So Herb would break it down into 5-game segments and say, okay, how many out of these 5 games should we win? And Robbie would say every time, all 5. Yeah. Because his theory was, okay, what if we say 4 and then we get to the 4th game, we've won game 4, now we're still going to play game 5. We say, okay, well, we won our 4 games, so we don't have to win the next one.
Back off.
And then, right. And then Herbie would go, well, okay, but be realistic. No, Robbie would just go, no. Ask me how many, we're going to win all 5.
I like that.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was fantastic.
Well, I think I mentioned before, Tony Esposito used to play 5-minute segments.
Yeah.
Try to shut you out, shut the opposing team out. 5 minutes, then we start a new game.
Right. Did we touch on this too? I saw a great video of a guy talking about what a good man really was. A good man is a dangerous man who has disciplined himself. Did we talk about this last week?
We did. I mean, and there's so many different quotes that are similar to that. Maybe the quiet guy in a room is the guy to be concerned about. Yeah.
The other one was, I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
It's Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Man, that's good stuff.
I don't know. When he was living in California, I very briefly dated his sister.
Who's that?
Bruce Lee.
Oh, you dated his sister?
Her first name was Ugg.
Stop. Didn't you have a cousin named Home?
Yeah, Home. Yeah. And then the Bag sisters, Burlap and never mind.
That's terrible. You are an awful man.
I really am. Yeah.
It's terrible. Like, what about the Chinese airline, the pilot, his name? Fly Too Low?
Remember the one where the guy's reading off the teleprompter and it was a Chinese. Oh my God.
He didn't realize what he was saying. That's right.
He didn't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. I had a buddy of mine, an accountant, so you think of an accountant, this button down guy. And we were on a conference call with this woman. We were doing this business. We're trying to raise money for potentially buying a sports team. And he had a list of names that he wanted her to read off. And I won't get into the names because they're not proper enough. But she didn't realize what he had done. Like some of the names, when she sounded them out, didn't exactly mean what she meant them to
Well,
be.
I just saw another one where the same thing. It's a guy doing the news, and he's referencing a man by the name of Hugh Janus. And he said it, then he goes, "Oh, I see what you did there." He figured it out. It's pretty funny.
There's actually, here in Greenwich, there's actually a river, and it's supposed to be pronounced Mianus River. But of course, you can change that around. Oh, God.
Well, there's that one planet, Uranus, which
I know. There's a fantastic video out there. We're going off all over the place now, which is fine. But it's a fantastic video. I think it's more supposed to be a public service announcement. And it goes into the relationship between men and women and how women may want to vent to their man and the man wants to solve the problem. And she just wants to vent. So it starts off with this woman sitting on the couch with her significant other, her husband or boyfriend or whatever it was. And doesn't show all her face. And she's talking about all the stress she's under, the headaches and everything. Then they show her face and they show the guy sitting there because he's totally frustrated now because he knows the solution. He knows what needs to get done to fix the problem. So they pan up to her face and she has a nail in her forehead. And she's going on and on about talking about how her sweaters are getting all snagged all the time. And he's like, he's doing everything he can. He knows he's not supposed to say what needs to get done. And he finally goes, "You've got a nail in your forehead." And then she snaps back. He says, "You always want to do that. You always want to try to fix the problem." He thinks to himself,
"No, but you have a nail in your head."
Oh, I thought it was hilarious because I think to myself, I'm sure all men are the same way, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And even I had a conversation with a few women regarding this. And I said, well, how? Because they even acknowledge themselves that sometimes they just want to vent. And sometimes they do want a solution. Right. So I said, well, how are we supposed to know the difference as men? And they go, well, you won't know the difference.
You won't know the difference. No.
Oh, God.
I mean, there's certain, like, I think we all know this. If you say, is there something? No, everything's fine. No, there's something wrong.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, God, relationships.
So we got tomorrow, right? Playoff start.
Yes, yes, and I will be at the Ranger game tomorrow in case anyone wants to know. We have a fun surprise. I cannot tell you what the surprise is.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
We did a little video with myself and Stefan Matteau and Glenn Anderson did a special thing. And from what I'm told, it came together very well. It's very funny.
Oh, good.
So we'll see.
I think this not going to be, nothing's ever easy in the playoffs, but this is a good matchup for the Rangers. Because their goaltender's out, right? Is he injured, Jarry?
Yes, he is. He's going to miss first.
And he played really well against them last time.
Yeah. The Rangers have had Pittsburgh number here last few games, but the danger is a couple of years ago when they played Carolina, right? They had Carolina's number too. So
Carolina is going to be the problem.
Carolina's got a problem. Their goaltender is hurt right now, but they've still continued to win. Man, it's going to be tough coming out of the East, just in general. Yeah. I mean, obviously Florida, Tampa, Carolina, Rangers.
I kind of feel the Cup winner is going to come out of this.
Yeah. But you even figured, those are the top four teams people are talking about. Well, Toronto as well, you throw in there. But even like Boston, Washington, Pittsburgh, all good teams, right? They look at last year, Montreal going all the way to the finals. A good team. Some team's going to get on a roll. Happens every year. So,
well, that's what Gerard Gallant said yesterday. He said any one of the 16 teams can win this.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
How about we talked about before too, out in the West there with Vegas not making the playoffs at all. Oof, man. And even at the end there too, and I'm pretty critical of Eichel, and I need to be careful what I say it too. I'm very high on his skill level. I don't know. There's just something missing in more of a personality thing, right? But,
well, I don't look. I don't want to call out names, but there's been guys that there's one particular player at Atlanta was a 51 goal scorer. Didn't even make the first round. So, to me, if you're that talented, you got to be able to pull a team at least into the first round.
Yeah. Yeah, you look at those really top-end guys like the Sidney Crosbys, and they really make their team better. Yeah. Not just talented individuals who make their team better.
You know what? Kenny said something to me. I found interesting. He said, you need two guys. So, Pittsburgh had Sidney and Malkin. You need two. You have to have two superstars, or else you're not going to go very deep.
Yeah, it's true. And you got to have those other guys, too, that are know the roles.
Oh,
right?
The plumber.
Play the roles. Yeah. I tell the funny story about how Herb Brooks, his first, right before our first game, his first year, we were at Rye Playland, our practice facility, and he had everybody together at the end of practice going around, Barry Beck, this is what you're supposed to do. Ron Greshner, this is your job. Ron Duguay. And it gets to me at the end. He goes, Laidlaw, when you get the puck, give it to somebody else. You're not supposed to have it. Right? Yeah. And at the time, I was devastated. I was like, I had a good rookie year. The guys are all dying laughing. But he was, he first of all, I found out later, he felt I was tough enough mentally to handle it.
Right.
But it was also, that was my job, to get the puck to somebody else. It wasn't to carry the puck to end to end. And that's,
well, speaking of roles, Tommy McVie was up in Maine, and I guess Kenny was just a kid. And Kenny was trying to fancy Dan in practice. He pulled him over and said, Danico, you're a drummer. Quit trying to play the violin. And it makes sense.
Right. Yeah, it is true. Yeah. And that is, and when I speak to young kids about this too, like I make sure I say to them, like Hackensack, I had speech with them that, I say this very proudly. I was never the best player on any team I ever played on, but made it to the NHL, played there for 10 years. Cause I was very lucky to grow up in an environment where I just was taught to do my job. My father and grandfather on the farm, they had a job to do. Nobody was going to write any great articles about them in the paper. Nobody was going to pat them on the back. They had to get out there and milk those cows. And that's how your success is, and other people. So
you get the food.
Yeah, definitely. How's the lovely Beth doing?
She's fine. She, 2 weeks tomorrow, she had her knee scoped.
Oh, that's right.
And she had some meniscus taken out. And everybody's, is she okay? She's okay. 3 hours, literally 3 hours after surgery, she's out here doing some rehab exercises.
Oh, nice.
I'd have milked that for at least 2 to 3 days.
Definitely. So playoffs are starting. Who are you're picking? I guess everybody's making predictions. Who are you picking to come out of the East for the finals? Nobody.
I think New York's going to make a real hard run at it. Carolina's tough because they seem to be able to screw things down tight, with the PK and everything like that. But to your point, Tom, there's could be Washington, could be New York, could be Florida, Tampa Bay. There's some really talented clubs here. Boston's always a problem.
Yeah, they've got experience. Washington's won the Cup before. That core group got to win. Yeah, just too. Mark's a huge New Jersey Devils guy. I he pretends he's with the Rangers, but he's
no. Honestly, people ask me, "Are you a Ranger fan or a Devil fan?" I'm a Ranger fan, but because I grew up. So I'm going to show my age now, but with the gag line and Gilbert and Hatfield and all those guys.
But let's be serious. So when you drop names like Kenny, it's just like Kenny.
Kenny just happened to be, I've known him for a long time, and he's a good friend.
Yeah,
but
buddies. Right.
Yeah,
he's Mr. Devil. So obviously,
you look, they're very sensitive about it.
If Kenny was on the show right now,
we'll get him on. We should get him on.
Hold on. If Kenny was on the show right now, would you be saying all these great things about that you're a Ranger fan?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he knows. So the first time we played exhibition, how you walk down the hall, say hello to everybody during morning skate, and I came sauntering down. He goes, "Oh, look at you! You look so cute in your little New York Ranger outfit there." Yeah,
that is good. So this Bill Contradidiac or whatever his name is worked with the Devils when younger, but believe me, he doesn't. You can't play on both sides of the fence. Pick a side.
Well, here's a good one. How many guys have played for both teams?
Devils and K. Wow. Driver.
Yep.
Scotty Gomez.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the big right winger from the
Bobby Holik.
Bobby Holik.
Yeah. There's actually quite a few. It's surprising.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who else?
Off the top of my head, didn't Sergei
McPhee?
Nemchinov, didn't he play for New Jersey and?
Yeah. George McPhee,
sure.
John Van Beesbrook. Oh,
Beezer did. Yeah.
That's right.
God
Verbeek, did he play for both? That's what Bill's saying here.
Definitely yes, he did. Yeah, he did. After Hartford, Verbeek went to New York.
Johnny McLean, he played for both?
No. Oh, yeah. What am I saying? Yeah, because he played Jersey 1 year in San Jose and then back to New York. Wow. Yeah.
Doug Sullivan, I think would have. Yeah,
Doug Sullivan did as well. Yeah. So yeah, if we're really sad here, it's probably quite a few.
Oh, that's it. How about the Islanders and Rangers?
No, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Brian Mullen. Kasperitis, Brian Mullen.
Yeah. Richie Pilon. Did Pilon play for New York?
Yes, right at the end of his career played for Rangers. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, so there's not as many as Devil Ranger fans, Ranger players though, for sure.
Steve Vickers, I thought he only played for the Rangers. Did he play for somebody else?
I'm going to say New York only. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
John, you're gonna have to verify that.
Yeah.
Interesting. That is pretty good. Yeah, well, Brian, we had that alumni weekend. Brian Mullen was jumping back and forth. He went to the dinner with
Was
the
he? Yeah.
Islanders. Yeah. Well, the Islanders were staying. They all stayed in the city. They brought a whole bunch of. It was their alumni weekend when we played against them, and they all stayed in the city. So I guess they went out and had a few cocktails. So Mullen was hanging out with them, having dinner and cocktails the night before, and then he played with us. And then when I think he then went. He might have had 2 dinners the next night because they were together.
But there's a couple guys that have played for, like, I guess the most famous one that I remember was Gary Suitcase Smith.
Yeah.
Goaltender. Played for a bazillion teams. Do you remember Brent? I'm sure you do. Brent Ashton.
Yeah. They called him.
I think he played for 11 or 12 different teams.
Yeah, that's right. Too. And he was a good player too. I liked him as a player. Yeah. Peter is just clarifying that Steve Vickers. Yeah, I was almost positive about this. He was drafted by the Rangers. Yeah, because I think he retired. Herb Brooks came in, and he wasn't what Herb. It was Steve didn't. Steve was a great player, but it's Herb, one of the young, fast guys and everything. So, so I think he retired when Herb came in.
Yeah, he was more of an up and down the wall kind of guy.
Yeah, we were talking about coaching the other day, or somebody, I can't remember where it was, and I recalled back about Herb Brooks. So my rookie year in the league, Freddie Sherrill got fired partway through the year, and all the staff did, and Craig Patrick basically took over everything. He was GM, coach, the whole bit, and we didn't have a great regular season. Squeaked in the playoffs. I think it's back when they ranked them 1 through 16. We were probably number 14, I think. So we played LA in the first round. It was 3rd in the league, and went on a run. We beat LA, beat St. Louis, went to the semifinals, ultimately lost to the Islanders when they went on to win the second cup. So typically when you have a year like that where you have a good run, you don't make a lot of changes. But because Herb was coming in now, Craig wasn't going to continue to coach. He wanted his own team. And so we made a lot of changes. A lot of the bigger, tougher guys were gone. And then comes to Mark Pavlich, Robert Salanin, Rob McClanahan, those kind of guys. And I'll never forget, like, people, I think we got in a discussion with somebody about talking about coaching. And I'll never forget, to me, a big part of coaching, and I'm sure, is getting everybody to believe that you know what you're talking about. Absolutely. This is the plan. It's not changing. This is what we're doing. That's it. And I'll never forget Herb's first meeting when he came in. He was, I remember after the meeting, like, oh, I guess Herb's in charge. He knows exactly what he's doing. He was so confident in himself, had it all planned out, the whole schedule, the old conditioning days with Jack Blatherwick, everybody there. And everybody loved, we've talked about Jack before. We love Jack Blatherwick because he came along with Herb. And Herb really, I think Jack more convinced Herb that conditioning was meant to be done with a purpose, not when you're mad. You don't have these bag skates to torture the players or punish the players, whatever. So we like Jack. He all had a plan. It wasn't necessarily like to kill us out there on the ice and make us throw up. It was like, okay, there's a plan to our conditioning, and he was good. So
let kind of going back to what we were talking about training before, Tom. A few weeks ago, I was listening to, I forget who it was Pat McNamara, talking about hitting that, when you're training and you hit that glow, like, when you're just starting to go, wow, I feel great. Stop. Stop. And I've been doing that, like, with the kettlebell or pull-ups, like, I'm really going great. I'm getting it. And then I go, okay, that's it for today.
Oh, really? So even if you're feeling good, like you could do more, you should stop. Really? Okay. But the old theory about pushing yourself all the time to get, like, I want to get stronger now. I don't want to get in that attitude. I'm saying, well, I'm getting older, I can't get stronger. So I'm trying to increase my weight on the Jefferson deadlift, the military press, all those kinds of things.
Well,
you don't think I should be doing that?
So what should happen, what should occur there is that you should lay out your 8 weeks. Gotcha. In other words, today I'm going to do 3 sets, warm up. I'm going to do 3 sets of 5 at 80%. And then do that for 2 weeks, and maybe the following 2 weeks you're going to do 3 sets of 6 at 85%, and then as you go up. But my point is, you have a plan. If you look at the Bulgarians, which I studied a whole bunch when I was trying to put all this together back many years ago, they're weightlifters, they're Olympic lifters. They lift all day, but they warm up with 1 set of 3 at 75%, and then they do either 1 or 2 singles or doubles. And they stop. Right. But again, it's all dependent upon what your goal is, is it strength, is it condition? But for me, especially at my advanced age, when I hit that little bit of I feel really good, I stop.
Yeah. Sure. So the Bulgarians, you said they do a warm up and then they do a bunch of sets at 1 or 2.
Yeah. So they're lifting every day. Right. But they only have the 2 lifts. They do a little bit of auxiliary work, maybe off season, but in season, so let's say they have a competition coming up in 12 weeks. They'll lay out, their coaching staff will lay out a 12-week program. And what it is again, the warm up, let's say in your case, let's say Jefferson squat. You warm up with 2 sets of 3 at 75% of your 1 rep max. And then you do 1 or 2 doubles or singles at a percentage, whether it's 80, 85, 90. It goes up as you go along and you get deeper into it. And at the end of, they have a 10-week program, you'll put 5% on your lift, which is a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Which is a lot.
Yeah. Actually, my son had done this, that was about 10, 12 years ago. We were working out together. We bought some of those magnetic weights for like a pound or a pound and a half. So the theory was that if you're ever like bench pressing, you get stuck at a certain weight, you're 315, you want to go higher, but you can't, but you're adding 5s, but you can't get that 325. Correct. So you add like a 1.5 or a 1 on each side. Yeah. And then you keep stacking those on, you eventually will get the equivalent of 10 more pounds. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's the old theory of carrying the calf up the hill, right?
What's that?
As it's growing, you're getting stronger.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I see.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's it's a mythical Greek. I forget exactly who it was, but yeah. So you got the baby calf, you're going up the hill every day, and each day it's getting a little bigger. Right. And it's gradual enough you don't notice it. And then at the end you go, wow, I'm carrying a whole. Yeah.
You know what's interesting too? I think I told you, I've been meeting a lot of people. I don't know what it is, less spiritual people. And it's made me think more and like about meditation and everything. Mm-hmm. So I've got the Google that I have downstairs. So the other day I started putting meditation music on Google, just hanging around the house. And I really felt like, I guess in the past, I thought to myself with meditation, and I clearly was wrong with this, that meditation was going to make me more like the old dog laying on the porch, just laying around getting lazy. But it really doesn't. It was interesting how it keeps me motivated, right? The meditation, more like me thinking about more stuff too, right?
You get self-awareness.
Yeah.
To your point, thinking about more stuff. Yeah. I think I told you. So music is such a, like, again, you think when you hit the ice in the NHL, they don't put like, some lollipop music on. It's AC/DC. It's something's going to get you all jacked up. And, famous scene in the very first Terminator when they're on the chopper and they got, I forget what it was, but it was really a hardcore rock and roll kind of song.
Right.
And Jesse Ventura's sitting there spitting. But and so what I do when I'm going to do some skill work with my martial arts, I'll put on like, it's going to sound crazy, but battle music. Like you go on YouTube, you just put battle music in. There's a whole plethora of different types of music. And then when I want to do like some weights or something, then I'll put on ZZ Top or something, really get kind of in the spirit of things.
Yeah, that's cool. It does. The music does make a difference, right? Yeah, like I know, I like my country music, but it's not great music for working out with, right? So especially if I'm going to the gym in the morning, I just turn it off altogether, and I just more focus on it. So.
We used to spar with James Brown on it.
Yeah, you told me that. That's right.
Yeah, because it's great rhythm, and yeah,
cool, very cool. All right, great to see you again. This 30 minutes went fast.
Oh, well, look,
like two intelligent people like you and I mean,
it's incredible. The amount of knowledge that's transferred back and forth here is, it's like a quantum computer almost.
It's seriously, like people are probably sitting there going, wow, those two guys are just fantastic.
Yeah.
Except Billy Contradidiac. He just thinks that you're fantastic. Anybody except me is fantastic. So,
well,
all right, brother. So everybody have a great week. Stay focused, get your workouts in, and listen to Mark. Don't overdo it, but be smart with your workouts, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, see you. We'll see Mark next week.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.